jobs regarding like the page doesn't open up like as expected. So we will be dealing with these kind of issues today. The topics that we will be covering will be the application architecture. Then we have the isolating the issue. Like whenever there is a performance issue, we everybody says that it's slow. But the first and the foremost thing which we have to identify is that what is exactly the issue. That's why like that's isolating the issue. And then we will go through each layer one by one: the client tier, the application tier, the database tier, and then we will like do our hands a bit dirty with the trace files, the TK proofs, and finding out the like SQL that is causing this slowness, and then how to overcome that. Okay, so let's get started. So this is the very high level architecture of the total ERP, like the total e-business suite. Be it 11i or release 12, the high level architecture is the same. Like the on the lowest level we have the Oracle database. The database stores all the different objects, the tables, the schemas, the like views, the procedures, everything, packages. That's the database. Above the database we have the application tier. The application tier consists of majorly the web server, the form server, the concurrent processing server, the report server, the admin server, and the discoverer server. Among this, the let's go like a brief discussion on that. The web server deals majorly with the like application which are interacting through the webs. And once we hit the web server, there are multiple forms in like not only in eBusiness Suite, like be it any ERP. The primary front end architecture is a forms architecture. Okay, so there are multiple forms. So the form server, by obvious reasons, deals with the forms. The concurrent processing server. Concurrent processing server is the like there are multiple requests whenever we hit a button. Okay, in the eBusiness Suite, whenever we are hitting a button, it goes as a concurrent request. Concurrent requests can be user requests, can be admin requests, can be any. Like there are multiple kind of concurrent requests, and we can go into details, but that would be beyond the scope of today's presentation. So the concurrent processing server looks after the concurrent requests. Okay, and there is a concurrent manager which actually manages the concurrent requests. We have the then we have the report server, deals with the reports. We have the admin server which actually administers the other like rest of the servers. We have the discoverer server which deals with the discoverer sessions. That is also an product within the eBusiness Suite. And above the application tier we have the desktop tier, or most of the time it is known as the client tier, because like the web browser may be used by a mobile app, may be used by a tab, may be used by a desktop. So the more appropriate way of saying that would be a client tier. Okay, so like whenever we face issues like slowness, long running jobs, long running queries, first we have to identify and isolate the issue. Like one of the like major things which we have heard, like which big kings and conquerors used to like apply, is that divide and rule, right? So first we have to take out the culprit from his group, right? So we have to isolate the issue, make it like take it aside. How do you do that? Like first we have to probe into the issue. We have to do proper probing, we have to ask the right questions and to the right people. That's very important. So when is it slow? Like when was the thing slow? Like the month, year, day. We have to know the peak hours or all the time. Whenever, like it can be slow anytime. Was it working fine earlier? Like this will help us to diagnose that whether like the issue has been occurred for some recent activities, or like it has gradually evolved. who are all affected. This is the primarily very important, because we like have to decide our action plan according to the affected users. Like if we know that who all are affected by this slowness or by the performance issues, we can like categorize our action plan as a urgent one, a critical one, or a major one, or like maybe a medium one or a low priority one. So it will help us set the priorities, like it is a business critical, or it is a corporate critical, or like it is a user critical, right? Now once we isolate the issue, we will look into each layer one by one. First we'll look into the client tier. The issue may be at anywhere, maybe at the client tier, maybe at the database tier, maybe at the application tier. So we have to look one by one. The client tier, though it is a thin client browser, has a JInitiator as a plugin. It uses Java for the for this particular layer. So like we have to check that the Java versions are up to date. We have to check that there are enough resources in the machine. Like if it is a desktop, we have enough CPU, we have enough RAM. We also have to check that any heavy applications are running, or if it is a mobile app, we have to check the synonymous parameters in the mobile, or if it is a tab, we have to check the synonymous parameters in the tab. Now once we are through with the client tab, we have to go into the application tab. In the application tab, the primary thing we have to check is the concurrent manager. The concurrent manager is the it manages all the concurrent requests. So we have to log into the sysadmin portal, and there we can see the concurrent manager. We can go through the docs.oracle.com eBusiness Suite. Over there we can we have the navigations, like how to open the concurrent manager, but on a rough basis, on a very high level, I can say that we have to log into the sysadmin, and over the sysadmin we have in the drop down we will get an option application manager, and inside the application manager we'll get the concurrent managers. Some people can assign different kind of roles, so that custom roles depends entirely on the specific customer configurations. So once we see the concurrent managers, what all we are going to check. Concurrent jobs are CPU incentive, we all know that. Hence ensure enough resources CPU RAM available on the DB tier. That is very important. Like the database is running in any server, right? So that server should have sufficient resources. We have to check that it is a rack or it is a single installation, or currently many people are using Exadata, so we have to check everything. We have to check the resources, right? Now we have to check the concurrent manager definitions for sleep time and cache are set correctly. This is very important. Sometimes what happens, the concurrent manager, the sleep time is like huge, and actually the job is not running slow, but due to the concurrent manager's sleep time, the job is currently not picked up by the concurrent manager. So these kind of things we have to avoid. Now we have a note 1057802.1. This consists of the best practices for performance of concurrent managers. So I would recommend everybody to just go through this note ID, and we have the list of Oracle suggested best practices. Now there are some other things which we have to look into the which comes under the scope of the application tier. They are the form server and the applications. So under the form server we have to see that we have to check that we have sufficient memories in the, if this if the application server is different from that of the database server, then definitely we have to check the resources in the application server as well. We have also to check the sockets, we have to check the servlets, we have to check the form, like the patches are up to date, we have to check the IO. So there are multiple things which we have to check. Now in the application tier we also have to check that how many concurrent users are there and how many concurrent jobs are running at a time. Okay, like what are the modules that are used? So like eBusiness Suite has different modules. For example, they have the general ledger, they have the account receivables, they have the account payables, like also they have custom modules. So like we have to check that what are the modules used, like what are the resources those modules are using. So all these things we have to check. Next we come to the database tier, and the most important thing, like in your career as a performance tuning like specialist or a database administrator or a application developer, 90% of performance tuning issues will occur from this tier, the database tier. Okay, so we have to check that the DB processes are running. What are the processes that are like taking long time? Like just for an example, I can tell if the Oracle is installed in Linux, you can log into the Linux environment and issue the vmstats or the top command, which will give you the process IDs of the Oracle processes, or like it will give all the process IDs of the processes which are consuming, which are running currently in the database. And there in the statistics you can see that what are the processes that are using a lot of CPU, a lot of RAM, a lot of other resources. Okay, just a minute. Okay, thanks for waiting. And just one more request. Like I have a QA session just after this presentation, so we can take up all the questions in the QA session. Okay, like let me just complete the presentation and then we'll go with the QAs. Okay, so now in the database tier, here we can see the picture of a 12C database. I just added this one instead of the 11G one because now most of the places we will see a 12C database. This has a pluggable concept just on a very high level. Like unlike the previous versions, in 12C we have a concept of a container database and a pluggable database. Okay, so container database is nothing but a database which has its SGA, PGA and the other parameters and the data files, and over the container database we can add and remove n number of pluggable database. It totally depends upon your licensing and your hardware setup. We can go further details into this, but for that I think we have to arrange another session. Okay, and here we also have another note ID which we can refer to check the init aura setup file. Okay, just I'm giving a small description on the init aura. Init aura is the initialization file of Oracle. So whenever Oracle is starting up, or like whenever any activities are going on, it takes the initialization parameters from the init aura file. For further details you can refer the note ID. Now the theory and the books are over. Now we are going to dirty our hands with the trace files and the tkproof files. Now it's running slow and we all know that. Okay, so we have to diagnose and we have to identify that where exactly it is running slow, right? So for that we have the feature in Oracle available, the trace. So for taking a trace, like we can take it from the eBusiness suite from the forms, and also we can take it from the background, but provided we have the session ID. So if you have the session ID, we can use a SQL syntax and we can generate the trace file. So because this is a eBusiness suite session, we will cover the form side of enabling the trace. So majorly there are 4 possible levels. Like first is the regular trace or the SQL trace, which I was speaking about. We can also initiate this from background. The next thing is the trace with binds, and we have the trace with waits. Actually the trace with waits is the like trace file which will be used more often, because binds, if we use with binds, it increases the cost much higher. So if we can afford sufficient time, then we can go ahead with the binds, and trace with waits will provide the wait events within the trace file. So it will be easier for us like to identify which processes are having larger wait events. And then we have the like boss, which is the trace with binds and waits. Like it has everything, but it is also a costly affair. So we can enable trace at various levels. We can enable it at request level, like whenever we are requesting, like whenever we define a concurrent request, we can enable the trace. We also can like enable at program level. So these two screenshots like explains how to enable that. Now we have the trace file, right? And trace file, we cannot read it unless we are binary gig or something like very intelligent on like reading Oracle files. Normal human beings cannot read the trace file, so we have to convert it to a human readable format, and that work is done by the utility tkproof. Syntax is very simple. We have to tkproof and provide the trace file name and then the output file name. So the tk, after doing a tkproof, the file looks somewhat like as it is shown in this image. Here we have, if you see the arrow, it shows the total time. We also have the hash rows. So by this we can identify that what are the processes which has took a longer time, and we have to, like, we can drill down to the target SQL file which is actually causing our issue. So that's the bad guy, right? Now we have to catch the bad guy. Once we catch the bad guy, once we catch the problem SQL or the culprit SQL as it's in the presentation, so from the SQL we can like play with it now. We can check that whether the SQL has been written properly. We can enhance the execution plan, and we can check that whether the execution is correct or wrong. There is also a note which gives us a detail how to gather and read the execution plan of any SQL. So the note ID will be 215187.1, and that's a very interesting one. So next, like, what are the other things we can do? Once we have the execution plan, the basic things we will check are, we will check that how many full table scans are occurring, and if there are any ways that we can improve the performance by avoiding the full table scan and going through an index scan. There are other other parameters. It depends on case to case basis. Another utility of Oracle is the AWR report. So AWR basically stands for Automatic Workload Repository. So what does the AWR report do? AWR script is available in our Oracle installation by default, and we can run the script and we can provide the timestamps as well as the SCN numbers within which it will generate the AWR report file. So if we want to go for a permanent solution, or if we want to do a root cause analysis, AWR report is a fantastic tool for that. So all we have to do is we have to identify that from when we were facing the issues. For example, we are facing the issue every day from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. right? So we will generate a AWR report which occurred from 3 p.m. between 3 p.m. and 7 p.m. We can generate AWR report by the AWR rpt.sql file. We can also generate the AWR report from the enterprise manager, so we have multiple options for that. And we can also generate the historic AWR report, like from 2 days back, 3 days back. We can do that provided the database has not been restarted within that time. So once we get the AWR report, what does the report say? So in the report we will have multiple things. It will give you the list of long running SQLs. That's the fun. So in the list of long running SQLs, we get the SQL IDs and we get the SQL text, and we can we have in front of us that what were the SQLs which took the major amount of time. It also gives a list according to the buffer reads. It gives a list according to the CPU utilization. It gives a list according to cost. It gives a list according to time. So we can do a full-fledged investigation in that. Not only this, AWR report also provides the basic configurations of your database, like what is the memory, what is the SGA that is assigned for this Oracle installation. It also provides, here we can see top 5 wait events. So these kind of multiple lists we will get. So here the top 5 wait events, as we can see, is the DB file sequential read. So the wait time is this, and we have the DB file scattered read. So scattered read also has this much weight. So there are multiple tables. Once we have the AWR report in hand, there are multiple places from where we can like close in to our performance problem, and we can identify and we can take corrective actions. So with this slide we come to the end of our today's presentation. So like AWR report, we have the execution plan, we have the TK proof. So there are multiple options available within the Oracle product line which we can utilize to resolve our performance issues. So once we resolve it, your day is done. So here we have a small slide like about the trainer. That's me, and my name is Akash Pramanik, as I have stated, and I am a database consultant. My major competency is Oracle. Other than that, I am also working on the other computer technologies like MongoDB, Teradata, Hadoop, you name it, and like in database, whatever you name it, I train it, right? And as a profession, I am a Oracle database administrator, and by passion, I am a trainer, and I have been into this teaching line for the last 9 years and above. So, like, if you want to refer any document, please go to the docs.oracle.com, and you will get everything about the Oracle service lines. Be it a database, be it applications, be it middleware, be it Golden Gate, be it anything. If you like my presentation, you can write a feedback to me in my email ID, that is akash007.pramanik@yahoo.in, or you can follow me in my LinkedIn profile. You can post your feedbacks, you can post your queries. You can also contact me for any freelance training engagements. I'm always open to it, and you can also, like, if there are any areas of improvement in the slide, you can also comment on that. I'm open for that as well. And before we end the slide, the disclaimer part: this presentation is purely for educational and training purposes, and there is no guarantee that this can be successfully implemented in any production environment without any professional help, or before implementing in any production environment. You have to contact me for consulting services, or you can contact any professional service provider for any consulting services. Thank you, friends. Have a great day. Bye bye.